yesterday night, police officers raided the offices of the Turkish and Kurdish television chains here. There were 100 police officers, and they seized several objects, such as laptops from journalists, as well as invoices and several books. They didn't hand over any inventory of the seized goods, and they used excessive violence while entering the building. They broke doors and they broke things while entering. This, of course, has legal implications, which my colleague will now explain.
I stood here exactly on this spot almost 20 years ago in 1996, when the building behind me of the Kurdish television was raided at the first time by the Belgian police. Very brutal raid then, and a very brutal raid now, because again a lot of damage has been done to the infrastructure of the Kurdish television. 20 years ago already, the accusation brought against the Kurdish television was financing of the activities of the Kurdish Workers' Party. At that time we didn't have anti-terrorist laws, but later that accusation was then transformed in cooperation and financing of the Kurdish Workers' Party, PKK. After a very long battle, a very long legal battle, the Belgian Supreme Court decided in 2020 that PKK could not be considered as a terrorist organization, and that therefore anybody accused of being helping PKK, financing PKK in any way, could not be considered as a participant in terrorist activity. And today it seems that we are again at the starting point. That today again, apparently on the request of the French authorities or French judicial authorities, the raid was justified by an investigation into financing terrorism. And I think we have a very big problem there, because if indeed that is the motive of today's raid, the Belgian authorities should have refused to do this at the request of the French authorities, arguing that our Supreme Court, the highest Belgian court, the Court of Cassation, decided that the Kurdish organizations accused of being linked somehow to the Kurdish Workers' Party cannot be prosecuted and cannot be charged with terrorism, because the anti-terrorism laws simply do not apply to the Kurds who are in the Kurdish organizations, who are part of an armed conflict and to whom the laws of war apply, but not anti-terrorist laws. And so it's very strange that while our Supreme Court decided that anti-terrorism laws do not apply to the PKK and to the Kurdish organizations which are allegedly linked to the PKK, that today, under the pretext of a French investigation, the Belgian prosecutor apparently forgets about this decision of the Supreme Court and organizes the raid as we have witnessed it here this morning. So we will certainly discuss that, take this to court, take legal action to impose respect for the decision of the Belgian Supreme Court upon the Belgian prosecution and the Belgian police forces.
Yeah, I'm here the second time as well in such a situation. Around about 10 years ago, when I was a member of the European Parliament and the speaker of the Kurdish Friendship Group of the European Parliament, I was already here because at that time the police did the same than last night. And I think, Jan said it already, that is not acceptable. From my point of view, I'm not a lawyer, I'm a politician. I can comment it only from a political point of view. From a political point of view, I think we have to consider and we have to take serious that the European Union claims to be a defender of freedom of speech, freedom of thinking, defender of human rights and the defender of the rights and of protection of minorities. And the Kurds living in the European Union, living here in Belgium, but in other countries as well, Netherlands, France, Germany, Denmark, Sweden, and so on. They are here because they are victims of the brutality and of the break of human rights in Turkey, in Syria, in Iran, and in Iraq sometimes as well. And therefore I think the European Union has to take a view to this, what happened last night here as well. And the European institution should follow this, what happened, and should remember the Belgish government and the Belgish the Belgian court that they have to comply with the European principles of defending human rights, of defending freedom of speech and freedom of thinking, and I hope that they will comment what happened here in spite of the situation that we will have the election and the European Parliament now is busy with some other things, but I think if they want to get trustable, then they have to defend this action which happened here last night on the level of a member state of the European Union.